one of the things that is probably the first step is to have a real conversation about how people are treated. I think that if you look at data, it really shows that there are huge disparities in treatment for people who are African American students, especially African and especially boys. African American students and Latino male students are really, when it comes to discipline, are treated very differently. There's a couple of reports. One was out actually just yesterday that looked at schools, even that they have the same kind of crime and challenges, the numbers are exactly the same. When it comes to students of color, they're much more aggressive in security, even when the data shows very similar challenges across schools. If the kids are black and brown, everybody piles on security. So I think step one is to always understand the issues you're dealing with and understand some of the data points. I think that's the most important thing. And because I think once you have data, and it's why I like being a journalist, a lot of what I do is really off of data and reports and understanding, okay, where are we right this moment? How many of you guys saw that video of the girl being hauled out of her chair and thrown across the room by the police? Yeah, you guys know what I'm talking about, in South Carolina, right? So that sort of kicked off a very big debate about how you treat students. Me personally, as a mother who's got 4 kids, if I saw my child being hauled out of tipped back in a chair and thrown across a room, I'd be pretty freaked out and furious. I think, we all agree that that's not how you treat a student who is not, she certainly wasn't armed, and she certainly wasn't menacing and threatening at that moment, right when the tape is rolling. So I think that we have to have conversations about, okay, what is the job of a security officer? Why is a security officer in the school? What are the limits? What is he allowed to do or she allowed to do? Where do those, allowances stop? And what do we believe as a society is fair and just for a student who might be misbehaving slightly? That's the kind of conversation we have to all agree upon, because what you see, and we've certainly had a lot of cases for both Latinos and African Americans in this past year, people being shot. Eric Garner is a good case in New York City. I did a doc on that. If you believe, as was reported, that maybe he was selling cigarettes, what they call loosies, loose cigarettes, I think we would all agree in this room that it doesn't merit killing someone, right? Let's say he did, and there's no evidence that he was selling loose cigarettes, but if you believed it, we'd all agree that we as Americans don't think you kill someone for that, right? So I think you have to start with the data and start with really assessing the information that we know. How many people, certainly in criminal justice, how are they treated? Is it fair across all races and ethnicities? Are we seeing disparities, and what do those disparities mean? And then once you get some of those numbers, you're really able to figure out how to make it just. You can try to set things right by just being more fair and treating everybody the same.